Sí, hello.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo te va?
Bien, aquí con el cohete.
The rocket fire, yeah.
Yes.
Giani,
Sí, he comprendido, John.
sí, te queríamos preguntar, cuando hicieron el trabajo con los distintos ganges y el ganado, ¿qué respuestas tuviste? ¿El ganado cambió el gusto de la leche y la cantidad? Pero ¿con qué tipo de ganges? ¿Qué en los recipientes? ¿Cuáles elegían?
Pues tenemos dos experimentos, uno con 30 vacas y el otro con casi 50.
We've done two different experiments, one with 30 cows and another one with 50 cows. ¿Y
En
qué
los
tipo
dos,
de gansos le pusiste?
en los dos hemos hecho lo mismo. Hemos puesto los 4 ganses de base en el pozo de agua.
We have put for the experience we've done with both set of cows is we put the 4 different basic ganses in the well, in the water well.
25% de cada uno de los 4.
25% of each one of them into this well.
Y digamos 1 litro de GANS aquaplasma del reactor y aminoácido para 3 mililitros de agua.
And about 1 liter of amino acids and GANs for 300 liter well, 3000 liter well.
Yes, y después de eso, donde las vacas toman el agua, hemos puesto CO2 ZNO.
And on in the troughs, we put CO2 and zinc GANs water.
En otro recipiente hemos puesto CO2 y con gotas de óxido de cobre.
And in another trough, we put some CO2 GANs with copper oxide.
Y en otro hemos puesto CO2, un poquito, CO2, etano y CH3.
And in another trough, we put some CO2 and CH3 and zinc oxide. Let them choose whichever they please.
Los resultados son maravillosos.
The results were marvelous.
Y las vacas que tenían problemas de digestión y han tomado aquaplasma se han equilibrado en 2 días.
The cows that had the stomach problems and different digestive problems recuperated perfectly in a couple of days.
Y después empezaron a regalar con cada una con 2-3 litros más.
And each one of them had 2 or 3 liters more of milk in their what is it called? Not the bladder, whatever it's called.
The udders.
Udders, yeah.
Hay en una zona de Rumanía con los 30 vacas, funciona de 8 meses y continúan ese regalo de 3 litros más de lo normal.
In another zone of Romania, we got another group of 30 cows, and they've also having the same experience there.
El leche cambia de gusto y ese alma que tiene la ferma de las vacas tiene el más bueno leche de la zona.
¿Y la manteca qué tal?
Maravilloso, todo.
Porque la manteca seguramente cambia totalmente, ¿no? It says
Sí.
the experience with these cows is they've given much more milk and better quality, and the taste of the butter changes completely.
Hace tiempo he hecho esto en Plasma Reactor Group, donde hemos puesto todo con el leche, con la grasa de leche, Y también hemos hecho todos los productos plasmáticos, la mantequilla, queso, todo.
We've experimented with all the different dairy products, be it butter, milk, fat, and all the different dairy products, and we've had marvelous experiences with all this.
En el otro sitio donde estamos trabajando con un médico veterinario de 6 meses, también los resultados son maravillosos.
In another place where we've been working with a veterinarian, we've had marvelous experiences there also.
Y también con el trigo que hemos sembrado y todo eso es maravilloso.
And with the wheat we've sowed a couple of weeks ago, we've having marvelous experiences also.
Tengo algunas fotos, pero un poquito más adelante, si queréis, puedo hacer la presentación con las fotos del trigo. Le voy a enviar a Rick.
He's got several pictures. He will send them over to Rick so we can see them.
El dueño es ingeniero agrónomo y ha dicho que nunca ha visto así saliendo el trigo.
This agronomy engineer has said that he's never seen such a response from the sowing of the wheat. It's marvelous.
Voy a enviar a Rick algunas fotos para que se vea todo eso.
I'll send some pictures over to Rick so you can all watch them.
Porque me mandaron las fotos hace unos 3 días.
These pictures were sent over to me about 3 days ago.
Y sí que es maravilloso. Y somos en invierno aquí en Rumanía.
And here we're right now in winter, so you can imagine the response has been beautiful.
Ok, ya he enviado las fotos.
I've already sent you the pictures, Rick.
Yeah, just give me a minute here to try to get them to come up.
Oh, Giani, hello. Didn't the cows or that milk you submitted or the farmer submitted that into a contest and they found it was the sweetest milk in the area? Didn't you report that to us?
¿Entendiste, Gianni?
Sí, John. Voy a
Entraron en un
responder.
concurso con la leche, ¿no?
Aquí sí que siempre donde se trabaja con plasma va a ganar cualquier concurso.
We have seen that whoever uses a plasma in a contest, they'll always win these contests.
Y además de eso, el leche aquí, y creo que en todo el mundo, se paga por lo que contiene, la grasa y todo lo que contiene.
And always in the milk products, the dairy products, the grease content is always examined, and we've had very good results with all this.
Hay cientos de fermas con vacas, pero el leche de esos 2 sitios no le puedes obtener sin plasma.
And wherever we've used the plasma, the dairy cows have been producing very good milk.
Es lo mejor. Las vacas son felices y no tienen problemas de salud y regalan más leche, y es muy interesante que come más poco de como antes.
And it's incredible how the cows feel very much better, don't get ill, and they eat much less, and they give much more milk.
Y Rick, si puedes ampliar la foto. que tenemos ahora.
Ah, está hermoso, está bien grande la foto.
Sí, pero si puede ampliarla para ver, porque quiero explicar algunas cosas.
Yo acá la veo completa, se ven los líneas de trigo.
Sí, pero quiero ampliarlo para que se vea más amplio. ¿Puedes decirlo, Rick, por favor?
Sí, Rick, could you make the picture bigger so you could have a better? I see it perfectly, but apparently he doesn't.
No, yo quiero decir que así.
Ah, que se vea más grande los líneas.
Sí, porque cuando se siembra el trigo que está tratado con químicas, hay muchas pausas en el campo. Aquí no hay pausa de nada. La multiplicación está de maravilla.
You see a difference in the lines of wheat where you use the normal way of planting the wheat and the one done with the GANs. There's a big difference in how these lines of wheat respond.
Y en comparación con la otra experiencia que tiene la UR, aquí va a tener doble de cómo ha recogido en años.
And what we have seen is the production of wheat is doubled when we're using these ganses.
Y aquí hemos utilizado solo plasma.
We've only used plasma here. Plasma water, ¿no? El agua plasmática.
Sí, pero también, si te acuerdas, John, hemos utilizado 120 mililitros de GANS a 1000 litros de agua.
We've used 120 milliliters of GANS and 1,000 liters of water.
Y para plasmatizar las semillas hemos utilizado 120 mililitros con, claro, siempre con el aminoácido para 10 litros de agua.
And here for the seeds, we have used, included the amino acids and 120 milliliters of GANs and 1 liter of water.
Y aquí que hemos obtenido una diferencia de potencial.
And the way the wheat is cropping up is very different.
Porque hemos hecho gradientes diferentes en el campo y en las semillas.
We have tested with different gradients in the wheat sowing and the quantity of GANs in the seeds to see the difference.
Y por eso aquí hay millares y millares de reactores dinámicos, almas dinámicas que están regalando.
And so here you could see that there are thousands of dynamic reactors which are giving away their strength.
Y por ejemplo, aquí tenemos un ejemplo de cómo el trigo regala para nosotros, para todos que vivimos en este planeta.
And here you can perceive the way the wheat is giving us this strength for the
¿Y
whole
qué os
planet.
parece cuando se siembra en un hectárea 270 kilos de trigo y se recoge de aquí 8.000 kilos, 9.000 kilos?
We have used 270 kilograms of seed in 1 hectare of wheat, and it has produced 8 tons of wheat.
Y eso lo vamos a ver en el mes de junio, al final de junio, cuando vamos a recoger el trigo.
We will perceive this next June when we are going to sow this wheat.
Thank you.
Interesting to note the light coating of snow in the background there, and appears to be the other fields are also coated with snow that we see on the upper left as well.
So this is the winter wheat, I think he was referring to. So they start growing and then the snow comes and then they harvest in the spring. Is that the idea?
Yep.
The
They were
whole
doing
field
that
gets-
in Russia also.
So the field gets covered with snow, the plants are still alive, and then they continue growing when the snow melts and the spring arrives. And this is called your winter wheat.
¿Es esto lo que llaman el trigo de invierno, Gianni?
Sí, es el trigo que normalmente se siembra en octubre, pero nosotros lo hemos sembrado en noviembre, así que es de maravilla.
This is what normally is called October wheat, and we've planted it in November.
Oh, we've heard of winter wheat before. Well, this is a new take. We call this winter feet. I'm not going to play the music part, but you'll get the drift here. Whoops, sorry, I missed that. This is winter feet instead of winter wheat.
¿Entendiste, Gianni? Son el trigo de los pies, no del invierno.
Sí. Cuando trabajas con plasma ya no tienes frío, John.
Whenever you work with plasma, you don't feel the cold.
Pero aquí me encantó que es todo gelado, todo, ahora.
And what I like from here is it's all frozen. It's full of
Y la
snow.
nieve que has visto tiene unos 40 centímetros.
We have about 40 centimeters of snow here.
So that brings us to a different video.
Environment.
Let me get it set up here. I've got too many on my screen. Okay, where are we here? So we have a number of images from you, Gianni, and some videos. Let me start going through. This is during the final construction of the
Rocket fire.
rocket fire stove.
Plasma rocket firestone.
So you're doing, I was going to ask last time if that was the finish coat, but you're doing a finish coat on the stucco work here, the concrete?
Le estás dando una cobertura de terminación a esta.
Sí.
Yes.
Es la capa final donde hemos puesto el CO2 y ZNO, porque antes hemos puesto los 4.
Yes, in this final coating, we have used CO2 and zinc oxide, where previously in the other material, we've used the 4 different components.
He enviado, y cuando va a poner más adelante, un vídeo donde explico cómo hemos hecho todo en vivo.
Later on, I'll send you a video where I explain the whole procedure.
Y lo tiene Rick, lo vamos a ver.
We'll see it later on.
Y después, claro, vamos a verlo en vivo.
And then we'll see it on a live situation.
Aquí hemos hecho el pan sin, como lo sabéis, sin fuego, y en el horno está solo para calentarse un poco.
As you know, we do the bread without any cooking, and we just putting the bread in here to give it a warm complexion or taste. Es un pan negro, ¿no?
Es un pan que está hecho con harina de trigo y harina de hemp, de semillas de hemp.
Ajá. This bread is made with hemp seed and wheat seed. Y al trigo le dejas todo la cascarilla.
También, sí, nosotros siempre utilizamos la semilla entera, con cascarilla, con todo, no separamos nada.
Yeah, the wheat is used, the whole wheat. We don't separate it from the skin of the seed. That's
También
why
la
it's got that dark complexion.
Sí, así se hacía el pan antiguamente.
This
hace
is the
miles de años.
way the bread used to be made in antiquity. And you got 3 beautiful chicken's eggs.
Aquí he mostrado cómo se hace también encima del bote ese donde se hace el fuego.
Here you could see the different containers with the different foods being produced on the fire.
Y vamos a ver también que hemos hecho el segundo horno.
And here we'll show you how we've made the second oven. Qué manera de atorrar, Giani, ¿eh?
Sí.
What a way to sleep, Giani. Bien campestre todo eso, ¿no?
Sí, John, y además de... Eso es una cabaña de la montaña. Y
Yeah, this is a beautiful mountain hut.
Normalmente el cohete, esto para cohete no se hace en el invierno, pero con plasma, cuando trabajas con plasma sí que se puede.
Normally these stoves can't be constructed in winter, but with a plasma we can.
Se hace en verano porque tarda un mes y más para secarse.
They normally are constructed in summer because it takes about a month for it to
Y
dry.
nosotros aquí con el plasma lo hemos logrado en una semana.
And with the plasma here in winter, we managed to do it in 1 week.
Han llegado muchos aquí para visitarlos y cómo se siente porque hay unos campos muy fuertes de plasma aquí.
A lot of people have come over to watch this and feel the energies here that are produced by the different ganses.
Y eso es la confirmación.
And this confirms our work.
Sí. Aquí es la parte final, Rick, donde hemos puesto que vamos a ver un en vivo también. La última parte, la capa final, que está con CO2.
Yeah, this is the last coating of CO2 and zinc oxide GANs production of cement. Or not cement, if not
barro.
Yeah, mud coating.
Yes.
So no cement was used.
No usa cemento ahí.
No, solo que nos regala la naturaleza. El barro, el plasma ya lo tenemos y piedras.
Whatever nature gives us, no cement whatsoever.
Was
en
there,
cualquier momento lo podemos deshacer, ponemos agua en el material y lo podemos hacer de nuevo.
Whenever we want, we could destroy this, put it in a container, add some more plasma water, and reconstruct it again with the same material.
Con el cemento es imposible obtener eso.
With the cement, you can't do this.
Y para quien sabe un poquito de química, el barro que utilizamos tiene unos 30% óxido de aluminio o alumina.
Yeah, and whoever uses or works with cement, you got about 30% of alumina in the cement, in the earth. So that's contents of aluminium.
Y no aluminio. El óxido de aluminio es diferente de lo que conocemos como aluminio.
Yeah, it's the alumina is the aluminium oxide, which is a different texture or compound.
El óxido de aluminio está en la naturaleza. El aluminio se hace de alumina, que está hecho por el humano.
Yeah. Nature gives us
existe
alumina.
Okay, go ahead.
Nature gives us alumina, which is an aluminium oxide, and we purify this electrolytically. That's why aluminium is produced near dams where you got all the energy to be able to separate the aluminium from the alumina.
Y por eso el barro, hemos utilizado la ceniza que resultó para todo lo que hemos quemado en la estufa.
We've also used all the ashes which are produced in the fire mixed together with the mud compound.
Sí, y por eso es maravilloso que pasa cuando trabajamos con materiales que nos regala la naturaleza.
That's why you can see it's got a marvelous effect when we worked with the nature-given products.
So
Okay.
the alumina is safe. It's not toxic like, we're supposed to avoid.
Exactly. You normally have a lot of alumina in the earth. In fact, here where I am, we have a very high contents of alumina in the earth, and it's not dangerous whatsoever.
Alumina.
Yeah, alumina. It's aluminium oxide.
John, el óxido de aluminio tiene como dureza 9 y se utiliza para pulir los diamantes.
Alumina has a hardness of 9 on the scale, and it's used to polish diamonds.
El óxido de aluminio está a la base de todo lo que llamamos piedras preciosas y semipreciosas.
It's a base constituent of what we call precious and semi-precious stones.
Está en ese planeta en todas las montañas.
You find this in all the mountainous regions on the planet.
Y donde tenemos barro, eso que utilizamos, siempre hay óxido de aluminio un 30%.
In the muds you find it everywhere, you'll have about a 30% contents of alumina.
Y ahora, como trabajamos con los elementos, no con la sustancia, ya sabemos qué y por qué y cómo utilizarlo.
And as we work with the natural elements, not with purified substances, we learn how to work with all this.
Okay. Rick,
Qué bien que se pega el barro a la chapa del tambor, ¿no?
Sí, porque hemos hecho una cerámica con barro y plasma.
Ajá. I've asked him the nice way the mud sticks to the metal container there, the barrel, and he says yes. We sort of produce a sort of a ceramic coating on the iron, or the steel drum.
Sí, y por eso la cerámica que hemos hecho nosotros resiste las temperaturas muy, muy altas.
And that's how these metals retain a very high temperature because of this coating of ceramic coating.
Pero también el tambor está nano cubierto.
And yeah, and you can see here the drum is nano coated.
Can you ask Gianni if the bench started out, did you use a wooden frame or is it all mud?
¿Cómo comenzaste a hacer ese túnel? ¿Usaste una estructura de madera o hiciste todo con barro?
No, ahora utilizado por dentro tubos de aluminio de 20 centímetros de diámetro.
I have used 20 centimeter tubes of aluminum to hold the structure up. ¿Se podría usar también cañas o no? ¿Podés hacer la estructura con la forma de, con una caña, con cañas una al lado de la otra, ¿no?
Lo voy a mostrar un poquito más, más adelante, los tubos y eso, John, pero quiero decir que le hemos hecho para poder hacer la estufa en una semana.
We have used these materials to be able to construct this in 1 week. I said you've also used some canes. The canes, you can make a very nice structure with them. But you use these materials to be able to construct this in 1 week.
En el próximo taller vamos a mostrar cómo hacemos nosotros los tubos del mismo barro.
And next time I'll show you a different construction where we use only this mud to do the whole structure.
Aquí hemos hecho eso porque cuando hemos llegado aquí tenía mucho frío.
We have done it this way here because when we arrived here, we had a lot of cold weather.
Y en un día hemos puesto la estufa en función.
And in one day we put this stove in working order.
También tiene Rick el video con el primer día.
There, Rick, you got a video the way we did this the first day.
Y lo voy a enviar otra vez para que lo encuentre mejor.
I'll send this over again so you can easily find it.
Could be this one. It's about a 5-minute video.
¿Es este de 5 minutos, Gianni?
No, ahora lo voy a reenviar.
Now I'll resend it over to you.
El de 5 minutos es donde estoy explicando cómo hacemos la capa final.
That 5-minute one is the way I am teaching you how to do the final coating of the ducts.
Ya tiene Rick el video.
You should already have the video there at hand. Parece que los perritos disfrutan del ambiente, ¿no?
Oh, John, todos los que se sientan aquí no quieren marcharse.
everybody and the animals, none of them that come along here want to leave this place.
Okay, we got it lined up here. Probably don't need this sound, so I'll just play it.
Me haces acordar, Gianni, cuando yo era joven y tenía entre 5 y 10 años y trabajaba en el campo, así.
Pues John, tenía 12 años cuando he hecho la primera estufa de barro.
Sí. Si yo habré hecho horno de barro, sí.
Es maravilloso. Sí.
Makes me remember when I was young, 5 to 10 years old, I used to do all this work, making these mud ovens for the bread. Estás practicando para después hacer el vino ahí, por lo visto.
Sí, John, porque hace parte del proceso.
Yeah.
Hacer el barro con los pies.
Yeah, you're practicing there to be able to stample on the grapes afterwards to produce the wine.
Los tubos, John.
There you can see the tubes, which channelize the heat.
Tengo más vídeo, lo vamos a hacer un poquito más claro y largo, pero esto lo he hecho así de repente.
Later on, I'll send you some more extensive videos. These are small shots I've sent you to be able to explain the different ways we're doing all this.
Y en el vídeo de 5 minutos mostramos cómo hacemos la capa final.
In the 5-minute video, you can see the final covering which is given to all this work. Lo importante es empezar con un fuego lento para que se vaya secando todo el barro, ¿no es cierto? Para que no se raje.
Pues John, sabes cuando se seca, cuando utilizas plasma, no pasa lo mismo.
Ajá. Además, you use a very what do you call it? Not a strong stove or heat to be able to dry all this mud in a slow way. And he said that when you're using plasma, you don't have this problem where the mud will crack.
Y Rick ha enviado otra vez el vídeo con la capa. Aquí estamos cuando quemamos todo, de plástico, caucho, ropa.
Here you can see we burn just about everything, plastics, different rubbers and old clothes and whatever we have at hand.
Y John, hoy también vamos a compartir cómo se ve el humo que sale, que no es humo prácticamente.
In a while, I'll show you also the way the smoke or the non-smoke that comes out of the chimney with no residues.
Y el ruido que se escucha es el claro del cohete.
Yeah, and the sound you can hear is from the fire, the way it produces that sound inside of the rocket.
La música del rocket.
Rocket music.
Si puedes decirlo a Rick, por favor, que he enviado otra vez el vídeo último.
Yes, he sent you this 5-minute video again. Over to you, Rick.
Salut! Apropie-te, Gheță, te rog. Aici avem...
Aquí tenemos el barro y hacemos la mezcla.
Here you see us doing the mud mixture.
Y aquí hemos utilizado hemp con barro y plasma.
Here we are adding the hemp residues.
Y lo que es blanco es polipropilena que está hecho para utilizarse en construcciones.
And the white stuff is polypropylene, which is made to use in construction works.
En el vídeo, en el bote, hemos puesto los 4 ganses de base.
As you can see, we put the 4 different ganses into this mixture.
De donde siempre hemos sacado de la mitad el plasma para mezclar el barro.
We have used half the plasma in the containers in all this mixture, mud mixture.
Aquí utilizamos una máquina para hacerlo más líquido y he utilizado CO2.
Here we've added CO2 and you can see us mixing it with a boring machine.
Y aquí hemos utilizado 6% CO2 y 9% CTNO.
Here we have used 6% of CO2 and 9% of zinc oxide.
Aquí ponemos aquaplasma. Hemos utilizado aquaplasma en todo.
Here we're adding the plasma water. We've used plasma water in all of this.
Y para hacer la cerámica, también hemos añadido nanomateriales de plantas.
And for the ceramic works, we will also use nano production of plants.
Y ceniza que que ha quedado después de hacer el fuego.
And the different ashes from all the different fires we've had around us.
Y como ejemplo, en 2 semanas, lo que hemos recogido, 1 kilo y pico de ceniza.
And in about a week or 10 days, we have managed to get hold of about 10 kilograms of ashes.
No 10, 1 kilo.
1 kilo, 1 kilogram, not 10 kilograms.
Porque no queda casi nada. Después de un día no queda nada de ceniza. Muy poco.
When this burns up, there's very little quantity of ashes left over.
Aquí estoy mostrando cómo hacemos la cerámica con pénsula, o como se llama eso.
Here you can see how we make the ceramic coating for the iron tub.
Normalmente en una estufa cohete, el recipiente metálico se utiliza como mucho 2 años, 3 años.
In a rocket stove, normally this tub will last for about a couple of years.
Eso no tenemos que cambiarlo nunca porque el comportamiento cuando utilizamos el plasma es diferente.
Whenever we use the plasma on these tubs, they won't deteriorate. They last forever.
Eso es la dimensión del plasma.
This is the plasma dimension.
Y me encantó en la semana pasada cuando el señor Kesh hablaba de los rayos cósmicos.
And I was very excited last week when Mr. Kesh spoke about the cosmic rays radiation.
Y pudo ver y sentir la luz de que hablaba el señor Kesh.
I could feel and see what Mr. Kesh was talking about.
Porque también que hacemos aquí, utilizamos los rayos cósmicos, pero a un nivel más bajo.
Here we utilize the cosmic rays, but in a lower level.
Esa estufa es un método para los que empiezan ahora a entrar en la dimensión del plasma.
We're showing this so the people can learn how to work with this dimension of the plasma construction.
Y eso al final va a ser alimentada con biogás que vamos a obtener también con el plasma.
And in the next future, we'll feed the stove with the bioplasma gas. We're going to show how to produce.
Sí, porque en la estufa se puede, hemos hecho, hemos comprobado y queda maravilloso con el gas que se quema dentro.
And we have seen this burning the gas inside the rocket stove. You get a much better heat production of whatever you do producing.
Lo más importante es que lo podemos hacer nosotros y es muy sencillo.
And the most interesting thing is we produce the gas ourselves. And it's so easy.
Es muy sencillo porque tenemos el conocimiento.
It's very easy because we've got the knowledge of how to do it.
Y por eso, gracias al señor Cage y a todos los buscadores de conocimiento,
In fact, to Mr. Kesh and all the knowledge seekers. Le controlas el tiraje con la chapa esa.
¿sí?
Yeah, he controls the flow of air, fresh air into the stove with that iron plate.
Sí, es maravilloso. Ok, ahora si queréis puedo mostrar en vivo.
And now, if you want, I can show you in a live manner.
Sure, thank you.
Ok. Start video. Y Jetta, por favor, ayúdame.
Jetta, help me out with all this.
Hello. Hello.
Te vemos ahí.
Ok, a ver cómo voy a cambiar la cámara. Creo que de aquí. Ah, ok. Jetta, por favor, sujeta. Aquí he hecho una improvisación, digamos. Aquí tenemos el texto.
Here, you see, I've improvised. Here, we're preparing some tea.
Si quiero hacerlo más deprisa, solo voy a hacer eso.
If I want to produce this hot tea in a faster way, I do this.
Ya hemos tapado y el fuego sí que se ve debajo.
Yeah, you can see the fire going on underneath the container.
Aquí tenemos el horno para la pizza.
Here we've got the oven to produce the pizza.
Aquí también tenemos el segundo horno.
Here we've got a second oven.
Que también eso está hecho de metal, pero lo hemos hecho con la cerámica plasmática.
This is also made out of iron plates, but it's covered with ceramics done out of plasma.
Y aquí hay, en eso hay temperatura más alta de como en el otro.
Here we've got a higher temperature than the other one. This is by the chimney.
Ok. Greti, que le encanta estar aquí.
Greta, the little dog, loves to be just there.
Aquí en la ventana tenemos lechuga.
Here we got some lettuce growing.
Que algunos de aquí han querido tirarlas y hemos dicho lo recogemos nosotros porque lo vamos a revivir.
Some people have thrown this out, and we've kept this lettuce, and we have shown them how to grow new lettuce from them.
Ok, y ahora vamos a salir afuera para ver qué sale por el horno.
You go outside to show you what comes out of the chimney.
Está nevando aquí.
It's snowing here.
Mira, es vapor, no es humo.
We only got vapor coming out of the chimney, no smoke.
Eso es maravilloso. Si tenía humo, también la nieve tenía otro color negro, pero no es
If we
humo.
had any smoke, then snow would be darker.
Eso es la maravilla de la dimensión del plasma.
This is a marvelous, you could see it's the plasma dimension.
Y otra vez, gracias a todos. Thank you.
Thank you all again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Giani. Once again, lovely demonstration of the plasma technology. Any questions for Giani while we have him here?
Yes, I have a question for Giani. Hi, Giani.
Ay, mi amor.
How are you, my friend?
Hello, my love.
How are you?
Como siempre, Jalal, disfrutando de la dimensión del plasma.
Feeding off the plasma energies.
I have a big task for you. Just 1 second, 1 second.
Go ahead.
Tiene un gran trabajo para vos, Gianni.
Escucho.
Okay. Gianni, you said you used 240 kilo and you produced 800 ton.
Has dicho que pones 240 kilos de semilla por hectárea y producís 800 toneladas, ¿puede ser?
In the beginning, the seeds.
I think it was 8 tons, Joel.
Yes,
8
it
tons?
was 8 tons. 8
8
tons.
tons. Sorry.
Per
Nueve,
acre or hectare?
Ese año obtenemos 9.
This
Okay.
year we produce 9 tons. Per
Okay,
hectare.
okay. Normally, how much it produce? Normally.
Normalmente, ¿cuánto se produce?
Como mucho 5.
Normally
5,000
about 5.
kilos.
5.
Yeah.
So it's you have about 2 times more.
Normalmente duplicas la producción, entonces.
Sí, eso porque normalmente es mucho más. Pero yo también lo digo con lo que nos quedamos nosotros, porque hay mucho más que se alimenta de esos campos.
And we also keep some of the product.
It's okay. I just want to compare how much increase in the harvest.
Han tomado menos aquaplasma.
Okay, now the real task.
Ahora el verdadero trabajo.
Before you came, we was speaking about replicating the field of the orange in the water.
Antes de que tú vinieras, estábamos hablando de replicar el gusto de la naranja en el agua.
All of you, please understand. All of you. We said we can replicate the fields of the orange in the water. Translate.
He understands that. ¿Entendiste, no, Gianni?
No,
Sí,
translate.
pero
The
por favor,
others will be listening.
Fine. Here we're going to show how to replicate. Spanish. Aquí mostraremos cómo replicamos el gusto de la naranja en las aguas de Gans.
Okay, Mr. Cass said, if you are good enough in this replication of the field, you can create the orange in the water.
Si haces esto correctamente, puedes replicar el gusto de la naranja en el agua de Gans.
Okay, remember another thing. He said, I can create a fish in the fish tank.
Él ha dicho que puede crear un pez dentro del tanque de agua.
So in the plasma knowledge, there is no difference between the field of the orange and the field of the fish.
En los campos de energía no hay diferencia entre los campos de la naranja o del pez.
Now, really try I told you so many times, I said, make the dome without the dome itself, but you are working in this. It's okay. You are doing very beautiful job.
Veo que estás haciendo un trabajo hermoso, pero la idea es producir el domo de protección sin hacer un domo.
Now, try to replicate the field of the tomato, the field of the wheat, the field of whatever without the seed.
Trata de replicar los campos de los tomates o de cualquier otra semilla que utilizas sin utilizar semillas.
This is the real task of the plasma knowledge.
Este es el verdadero trabajo del plasma. Generar vida de la nada.
This is the real task, the real knowledge of the plasma.
To produce life out of nothing.
Yes. No, you have. There is no nothing. You have
the
the soul. No, you have the soul.
Wish. Yeah, the soul. Yeah. That's what generates everything.
You understand, Giani?
Sí, lo comprendo, Jalal, y ya lo hacemos. Tenemos casi 3 años cuando hemos hecho transferido los campos de naranja, de banana y otras cosas. También de tomates, de lavanda y mucho más, porque tenemos el conocimiento.
This is how we have produced everything in nature here, be it lavender, fruit, or whatever, because we already got the knowledge. I would add that this is how a woman can be impregnated. She can get pregnant without having to have any intercourse.
This has happened.
Yes, exactly.
Sí, y los con quien trabajamos ya saben del principio que ahora vamos a plasmatizar los campos y el trigo, pero luego no va a ser necesario hacer eso.
And once we know how to sow the wheat, we do all this with not having to do all this work.
Y siempre lo recordamos porque no necesitamos matar para comer. Nada.
We got to remember we don't have to kill anything to be able to eat something.
Hemos copiado los campos de tabaco, de vino, de cualquier cosa.
We have copied the fields of be it tobacco, food, or whatever. you
Yeah,
want.
but you didn't copy the soul. Think.
Pero no has copiado el alma de las cosas.
You,
Piensa.
you copied the strength of the matter. Still, it's not the soul.
Has copiado los campos de la materia, pero piensa, utiliza los campos del alma.
Now
las
you
cosas.
need to think differently. If you
Ahora
have
tiene
time.
que empezar a pensar en forma diferente.
If you have a time.
Si
Pues,
tienes el tiempo para hacerlo.
Pues ya lo hacemos, Gelal, porque yo con Jeta no lo necesitamos, solo lo hacemos cuando alguien me invita.
Here with
Mostrarlo
Cheta,
como
we're already doing this because we only do this when anybody invites us over to.
What again? What you said?
Quiere que expliques de nuevo.
Para nosotros no hacemos nada porque no es necesario, pero cuando alguien me pide, siempre estamos a disposición.
Between us, we don't do anything, any of this stuff. We only do this when anybody comes over to show them how all this is produced.
Porque copiando los campos de la fisicalidad, empezamos a comprender el trabajo con los campos.
By copying the fields of physicality fields, we could create all the other fields.
El camino de materia a plasma, a la dimensión del alma, en realidad.
The fields from matter towards the plasma and the soul.
Hemos tenido un poquito de trabajo para utilizar tan poco GANs, porque la mayoría utiliza muchísimo.
We have used very little quantity of GANs because normally a lot of people use big quantities of GANs.
Pero también hemos hablado cómo alimentar el campo sin los ganses, solo con el alma, de alma a alma.
But we have also talked to the people about using just the soul of all these fields, from soul to soul.
Y, my friend, somos bebés nacidos en la dimensión del plasma y aprendemos a hacerlo poco a poco.
We're all babies born out of plasma, and we learn this little by little.
Lo que puedo decir y que puedo sentir y vivir es algo tan maravilloso que solo quiero continuar.
The way I'm living through all this is I love to continue with all this work.
Y ten cuidado, Jalal, porque siempre tenemos que recordar que de verdad con alma estamos haciendo todo.
And we've always got to remember we're doing this with all the strength of our souls.
Y es el método para crear los rayos cósmicos.
And it's a method to produce these cosmic rays.
Ten cuidado.
I could also add the Pleiadian women get pregnant in this way. They don't normally have intercourse. In the Pleiades, you got 75% of the population is feminine, and only 25% is masculine. But they don't normally rely on intercourse.
Right, and Mr. Kesh says he's fathered many children this way.
I heard you say that, but I think I missed some part of it.
Go ask what your
No, No,
Or
he
did
just
he want
says
to know you?
when the people are trying to get pregnant and they can't, and he just gives from his soul, I believe, to make them feel loved, to make them feel wanted, to make them feel needed, and all of a sudden they become pregnant.
You
Watch
mean
out, Gail, you may get pregnant. So. But he's also
Yeah.
said he's had 80-year-old women being pregnant.
Mhm. But now you said that it was, but what you just said to me is that the man and the woman in the relationship become pregnant.
No, they don't need the sexual relation to get pregnant. The women.
No,
They
but
can-
in this case, I think the woman was feeling not complete, not needed, not wanted. And so Mr. Kesh elevated her soul. And when she got back together with her husband, she became pregnant, as I understand it. But he said he's
Yeah.
fathered many children this way.
Mhm. So, but what you were really talking about was the fields. Oh, it is confusing. Yeah.
Sí, John, pero los preadianos de que estás hablando son de quinta dimensión y todavía no conocen y utiliza el conocimiento del plasma. Le faltan poco.
Así es, sí.
Si puedes traducir, por favor.
The Pleiadian girls I was talking about, they are from the 5th density, and they still haven't learned how to use all these fields.
No density, dimension. 5 dimension.
Bueno, algunos usan la palabra densidad y otros usan dimensión. Son conceptos similares en este sentido.
No son similares porque en la tercera dimensión hay muchas densidades. En la quinta también.
Claro, pero vos estás pensando en forma de materia.
Wait, both of you. What is the difference between the speed of the donkey and the speed of the rocket?
Ninguna.
It's the same. This is the same.
It's the same, yes, same.
So is it billiardines or whatever names? They are still the same, in the same
Yeah, no, but
condition.
he's talking about the difference between density and dimension. But
Yes.
it's the way each one has
It is the same thing
concept.
what I said just now. When
Yeah,
you
exactly.
produce 1 ton or you produce 1,000,000 ton, still the same. You are using the same method, but you provide it with the energy, and this will go for 1,000,000 ton. But it's the same method. There is no difference. The same speed. The question here, it's not to produce more of the same. The question here to produce from the soul, and the soul will dictate the physicality. A soul of apple, a soul of orange, not necessary it will give you the same shape. Not necessary. This is what we are trying to bring to the understanding. If I am replicating, guys, if I am replicating the energy of the orange, what I need to go further to replicate the field of the soul? What I need to do? I need to think, I need to ask, I need to study. I need to go out of this box. Not anymore gases. Not anymore even waters. You have the gons, you have the plasma, you have the water inside you. So what is the difference? We need to go above it. We go to the fields. It's the same, but it's higher. You will come to it, but what I'm trying to do is pushing you to that position. You will come to it. If you stay with Mr. Cash, he will bring you to this position. But we need to be ready for this. How many times he said, just look in your place of work. Maybe you will find an entity you didn't notice before. Because interaction of the fields, it can create this macro positioning of similar field to another plasma. It could be in another universe. It could be in another universe. You don't have any clue about it. If no one notify this and tell you to look for it, you will not see it. You will not look for it. Okay, I have to go to the work. Thank you, Giani. Good work. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jalal.
Thank you, Jalal.
Thank you, Jalal.
Okay.
You're getting a cup of coffee ready for you, Rick, so you won't fall asleep.
I just had a smoothie, actually. So what else do we have for our group here today? Many thanks to, excuse me, Giani once again. It's always great to have so much input, lots of pictures and videos coming in. And it's nice to be able to see, and especially the live video, even better. It's amazing to be able to get all that cross-platform input and output in real time.
Mr. Kesh went through a part of that in the last workshop about, do we need the water? Do we need the fertilizer? Do we need any of this, the seed, so that, you know, one person or one government or a group could abuse the others? And apparently he's moving with this new knowledge, this new understanding, and just in delivering all these just within the fields rather than in the matter state. This is the big decision that's going to be made by the Universal Council. Do we want to continue with the cups and the water filtration systems and the factories and the manufacturing and all that? Or do we want to go to the new knowledge and this new understanding that it can be delivered, all of it, through the fields, from the water on down? Even the oxygen, I think he was talking about when you landed on a different planet and there was no oxygen. Could we rely on these fields?
The question will be, do the fields taste better than ice cream? Than what we call real ice cream, or ice cream in the physicality? That'll be the
Again,
true test.
I think you
Otherwise-
have to add that taste and that emotion to it. That's your part of the
Well,
spark.
that makes it difficult because that takes a bit of work, and humans being the way they are, it's we'd rather just be fed ice creams, preferably spoon fed. But I think humans are changing too. Their tastes are different now.
Hello, everyone. This is Jacko.
Hi, Jocko. Go ahead.
Hi. What you just said, it's true, but if we think back when we started to visit the flight room in Linz, Mr. Kish says he will gather all the experiences ever made. So if you think there are 200 people were there, how many good ice creams they tasted? And maybe this is already inside of the system. So what I understood, and this also to Gail, if we tune in with our race to the race of the cosmic, and the tuning is right, I think then all these stuff becomes one. Then last night I had a dream. It was the thinking of the communication with the group. It was the Universal Council. And we could hear our voices without talking. So I think on the soul level, if the connection is right, if you keep this connection up, then these kind of things will start. Like Mr. Kesh says, you ask, you invite, if it's okay, then the connection is there. And then there's no distance. It doesn't matter where you are. So for me, this feels like the next step we will go through together. And the decision we have to make will be there. But think about what are the consequences if we decide the physical way. Do we read or reach everyone equal in the same way? Can we help everyone in the farthest back out of this planet? I think it will be very, very difficult to produce enough generators and magraphs and to supply everyone on the same level. And in fact, that is our goal. That is where we should head for, to do all equal. And in the cosmic race, in the creator race, that is possible. Mr. Kesh explained when we were in Linz in December 7th last year, Marie was asking for doing a project with Gans for the fishes, for the salmon, because they have to suffer so much. They overload them with antibiotica and chemicals to keep them healthy enough to be saleable, you know. And I saw documentation on TV where they showed these fishes. You cannot recognize that it is a fish. They misform because of all these chemical interactions. It looked so horrible that since then I don't eat salmon fish from Norway anymore. And so she asked it, and Mr. Kesh interrupted and says, in a very short time, we will do this with a satellite with one position for all the coast of Norway. So all the fishes will be supplied with what they need without any chemical or antibiotic or whatever. So think about this, because this is not only for the salmon. If we find out all the cosmic rays, and in a way, you know, before this, it was not possible to supply. But now with the new cosmic rays, it is possible. So do we concentrate on the physicality where we in fact know that we will not succeed? Or do we do it in a way where we can expand boundaries of Earth and even beyond? And then everyone can ask for himself which way he wants to go. But like like Jalal says, we become now to the point of creation. And we are, as a soul, creator. That is what we learned, and what is definitely true. So the question is, what do we start to create? And that is why it's so important to do it in the right ethos, in the think good, speak good, do good, in the way of the commands give, because they are the way through physicality to the soul. And it's us, up to us, every single individual to learn, understand, and become. And the more we go this way, you will see then exactly what Jalal says. We start to notice that we do create. And then it's so important to do it right from the beginning, not going the same way the others did, with having power over others and being on a pedestal or on a different level. No, this time we sit on the same table with the prophets, with the creator. We are equal as one. And that is a big step. It's a big step to go. And I also understand that Mr. Kesh wants this overall okay, because he cannot ask every single soul if it's okay or not, or if they still want. Everyone chooses for itself how long we want to stay in physicality. No one is forced. Maybe the environment will be that way, that there's no different choice one day. If you think a little bit what's going around on the world, what some have ideas for the future of mankind, then in my case, the decision will not be very difficult. But it is up to everyone himself. That's what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Right, and I think he said that if there is a disaster coming up, the Keshe Foundation is going to attempt to provide the medicine and the food and the shelter on a very big scale to that particular area, where he said they're going to attempt to do it.
You know, Mark, if there's no other choice, then people will accept. And didn't he say that from the beginning? They will not accept it out of love of the system, but out of the need. And
yes,
exactly that will happen.
The fear of their own demise. They won't accept this technology out of the love of it, but out of the fear of their own demise.
Yes. You know, I have a cousin who has Parkinson, and I offered her to guide her, to help her to Linz.
I remember
a few months ago.
Yep, I remember
yes, her fear is bigger to try a new technology than to handle the illness. And in this way, I told her, you can come anytime, but we are not allowed to force, because that is a universal law. You do not interrupt or interfere others. They have to understand and open up, and then you can handle, then you can try and go the way. And it's hard, you know, on the way. I was thinking, my goodness, maybe in a year she could have lose all that medical she has to take, and it would be free to do everything again. But yeah, you can offer. And I said to her, the door is always open. You can always say, if it's okay for you now, then come. We go that way. But I don't force. And as soon as Mario told in the German group, one ray device can supply all the earth, souls, food, and what is needed. So do we really want this suffering, this slavery, whatever is going on this world, made out of the mistakes of the past? Do we want to continue? I don't.
Right,
So
and
let's
with
continue training.
with these fields, it's going to be provided to the plants. Well, they're pretty much doing it already on their own. They're not killing to eat, but it'll be provided to the others who are, I mean, in the animal kingdom type of thing, not only the people. We can't just bring the change to the man. It has to be brought to the other souls.
Yes, we're talking about souls, not about man. It's providing all the souls in existence. And it's far beyond the boundary of Earth.
He did say that right across the universe.
Yes. And can we do that with all the physical stuff we have?
No way.
What is possible if all the mark graphs, all the stackers, everything is connected also with the flight system? Then you have some kind of coverage, but does it really cover everything like it does with the rays? I don't think so. I think it's still restricted to what we do. And with the rays, you spread it, you flood it in a way. And that's also what he says they will not even notice. What they maybe notice is that they are not hungry anymore. They don't want to eat anymore. This is one of the effects I have. Before I reduced to half food, and now even the half of the half is enough. I don't want more. It's no problem. I have enough weight. But it is the principle that changes. And that will bring big changes in total if we go that way. But it's the only way to get rid of all the intermediaries that are there, that want to have their influence, and yeah.
Right, and as I understand it, there is enough matter state food in the world for everyone to be satisfied with, but it's not equally distributed. And I think this is what he was saying about the fertilizer and the seeds. And do we want to go that way? Or do we want to go that everyone on this planet and across the universe can start to enjoy the beauty of existing in a beautiful condition rather than looking for your next meal every day?
I said to Irmgard, try to imagine you have everything you need. And then think, what do you need in physicality to that? Because if we really can create whatever we need, and that's why I brought the example with the lamp, you know, if you have these two lamps, you can open up on the one side, on the physical side, or you can open up on the soul side. They are connected together. You can choose what you want. And as soon as we start to open up the soul side completely, then the physical side is covered. Now we live the difference. We live the open up from the physical side, and the soul side is covered in the skull and with the blood circulation. But we know that the soul is stronger, and as we open up, like Jalal says, the soul will go the right way and the physicality will follow. So in a way, it's beautiful. As soon as we start understanding what do we create and what loveful, peaceful environment we will create. And on the soul level, there's no acceptance of violence and killing. So in a way, yeah, we have to choose, but choose right. And I think we have to switch off our egos to do that right. Or at least understand what the consequences are of what we are doing, what we're wishing. In the Dutch group yesterday, there was an interesting question. There was a lady, she was telling about some kind of energy way. I don't know the exact name, but was a higher energy level which she tries to reach. And it was electromagnetical. And then I told her, yeah, because she also had feelings of plasma of around her and around the house, but she was missing something. And then I told her, yeah, what is in a magraph? She said, I don't know. I said, it is the magnetical and the gravitational. And then she asked, yeah, why do we need the gravitational? And I explained to her that we have the pulsion and the repulsion. So it is both one, although it's different kind of state of energy, but it still belongs together to understand what a magraph is. And then she says, yeah, where do I get this gravitational from if I have the electromagnetical? And then I told her, one is on the physical side and one is on the plasma side. So in the physicality, we have the gravitational on Earth. I don't know how to produce gravitation without Earth. That's not my kind of science yet. But on the plasma side, you have both. Is what we're doing with the cups. We create the creation of both, or in a reactor, or yeah, in the systems. So I told her I would either make one to test it for herself, or to buy one in the shop. Then she also can test, because the fields of the magraph is something really beautiful. As I told before, I have two in my house. They're looking one up, one down. And in fact, you feel the fields in all of the apartment. And then they also asked with the butterflies, what is the butterflies for? And I told, in my case, I have one at the window, one is on the backside of the apartment. So they're also looking together. In fact, they are like a cross with the magraphs up, down, and the butterflies front, back. I also put another one in my car. On the backside, I had a big butterfly. And now I put a middle butterfly in the middle at the mirror position of the car. And it is different. There are different fields, more fields. And of course, it is the total package that is working. But the intention becomes more and more. I had a dream last night, and it was extremely real. And normally I never dream. I probably do, but I don't remember. I have to say it that way. And I think this will continue. And if we understand, we also can start creating the dream, like we will create our future. And that is like a sandbox where we can start building our houses, making tunnels. And later on, yeah, if you grow up, maybe it's your profession. The principle is the same. Thank you all for being here.
I was wondering more about the core team in the Earth Council, Rick. Is there an actual printout or something on the website that gives a more detailed description of the reason for the Earth Council and the core team? We understand a little bit about the Universal Council being sort of a bridge between the universal community and this planet, but any print-ups that you're aware of about the description of Earth Council and the core team?
I think it's somewhere, but let's see if
I thought I'd run
something
across it in the past, and it's quite detailed. I don't think I went back to it.
It exists, yes.
there is the
Sort of their mission or a mission statement or again, a
Yeah.
description.
Yeah, let me share here.
I remember reading it once in one of our groups. It is beautiful. The Earth Council mission.
So here it is in the KF Wikipedia under Earth Council. And we, the souls of all beings connected to the blue planet Earth, hereby create the constitution of the blue planet Earth. And it has the whole setup here. Earth Council will serve and support to provide all beings with the following, which is a list of 20 freedoms. As the members of the Earth Council, which is Alex, Egbaran, I guess it's his name, Parvis, Miran Kesh, Lisa McDonald, Wayne Nugent, and Rodrigo Vildasola, Dr. Rodrigo. Email is peace@theearthcouncil.org. And also here you can download the EC Constitution in your language, which is good because I was asked a couple of days ago, someone did a translation. I'm not even sure which language right now, but they wanted me to pass it on, and that's where to do that.
What are the 20 freedoms, Rick, you were describing? We can't really see the screen, at least I can't. It's kind of small, very small.
Yeah, I'll try to make it bigger and go through that. So it says the Earth Council will serve and support to provide all beings with the following: 1, freedom of association; 2, freedom of expression; 3, freedom of movement; 4, freedom from hunger; 5, freedom from lack of resources; 6 is freedom to explore the path to understanding our own soul; 7 is freedom to learn; 8 is freedom to contribute to society according to our talents and what we find fulfilling; 9 is freedom to choose through our soul how and when we wish to manifest in the physicality or not; 10 is freedom from being the property of another; 11, freedom from all suppression of new and innovative technology and information for peaceful applications; 12, freedom to share; 13, freedom of thinking; 14 is freedom to love and give; 15 is freedom of choice; 16, freedom of language; 17 is freedom from a monetary system; 18 is freedom from punishment, no captivity or execution; 19 is freedom from conflict and war; and 20 is freedom from fear of others denying us these freedoms. I'll be back in just a second here.
maybe some of the freedoms we think we have now are more or less an illusion. And the true freedoms are about to appear. We think we're free, or the press is free, or these other things are free, but apparently there's a lot of control, and we're going to really go into a true freedom, as Jacko said, to choose.
Well, as has been said before, if you want to control a bunch of slaves, then make them feel like they're free.
Mm-hmm.
And give them all the things that they like, you know, good food and whatever, sexual partners and all of the things we supposedly enjoy in life. Probably Netflix and a comfortable couch for most people.
And keep telling them how free they are.
Happy. Yeah, lots of stuff
keep
about freedom. You keep going to freedom marches. March for freedom. Talk about it. But are we free?
What would be
part of what we do, I think, in life is to understand our attachments and connections that we do have to the physicality that are unconscious, and learn to either make them conscious or to just stop doing them if they're, you know, interrupting with their ability to be present and to have these freedoms, truly have them, which are all freedoms of our soul. Basically, this soul has nothing to defend and nothing to protect, so it doesn't need all that stuff, all that baggage and layers that we, you know, normally carry around with us as humans, defense mechanisms. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was thinking about this freedom of language. The only thing I was just thinking of is, I know, well, over in the Ukraine there, that they had banned certain languages in certain areas, I guess in the eastern part, with these 2 areas where they even put up billboards. I was hearing a reporter report that if you're speaking the Russian language, you're an enemy of the state. And what does this freedom of language mean? I thought basically we could, you are free to speak whatever language you want. Is there more to that? Freedom of language. Or will we be able to understand and communicate in all languages?
A good example might be the suppression of language of the Aboriginal people of, say, Canada or North America. And they were put in what's called residential schools and taught the English language, and suppressed their native languages. They wouldn't allow them to speak. They would be punished if they spoke their native language in school. And they were at school 24/7 because they took them away from the families and put them in these like boarding schools, basically. And it was to
re-educate or re-education camp.
Yeah, to remove the Indian from the Indian or something like that. They had a phrase for it. So basically, and what happened was, because their language, the Aboriginal language, especially in some particular tribes, it's an alive language. It's very much about being in the moment, and the language is centered around that. It even, the written language, they start writing the first letter at the center of the page, and the other letters go around in like a spiral around that central basic sound, that basic letter. It's like Mr. Keshe's spiral, basically, is the way the language goes. And the language incorporates not just what we see as physical stuff in front of us, there's a tree, there's a road, there's a car, or whatever, but that you might see your grandfather and mother or some other relative. It could be 1,000 years old or whatever, and you'll see them and feel them, their presence in the present. And the language accommodates that as being normal, so that that's always gets incorporated into your experience. So you get not only your own experience to rely on, but the help of all the elders and others the other spirits that you're in contact with. And most of our English language takes away from that. And, for many, many years, those that thought that they were spirits out there were considered crazy people and were put away in institutions or shunned by friends and that kind of thing. It's a lot more open and accepted nowadays, but still it's part of the language of the English language to suppress that. Like, we don't even have words and so on, and we call them ghosts. If someone who started talking to their grandfather all of a sudden in the moment, we'd probably think they're a little affected mentally or something like that. But if it was normal in your culture to do that and have access to that realm, we could call it past lives, but it's not really past lives. It's because it's all in the present. You have present access to that, to the information that came from certain souls, basically.
I'm thinking, Rick, I think I just got an aspect of it, freedom of language. Is he referring to zero time communication here? He said we all have it, we lost it, or we don't remember.
Ultimately, that's what I'm talking about with the Aboriginals, and that's what they had. That's why it was so important to take their language away. That's how you control someone. If they have that freedom of language, and the one immediately above that, the freedom of choice and freedom from a monetary system, whoa, that's someone that's so free that they could inspire the other slaves, and pretty soon you'd have a slave rebellion once they all figure out that they really are free inside and have the freedom to choose and to love and give and all the other freedoms that we see here. But we're trained to not go there, because that would disrupt the system, which is now crumbling because of that very factor. You can't suppress all the slaves all the time.
So I think that has to do with this zero time communication, perhaps an aspect of it. Not that we'll stop speaking completely, but if you can communicate without speaking, then you have the freedom of language, from language. But this says freedom of language. I just noticed Filippo had joined us. Rick, you were mentioning about him earlier, how he generated a beautiful discussion in the One Planet, One Nation. Welcome, Filippo. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me. How are you doing this morning? Here, in my country is morning. I think, I suppose it is, what time is it?
Well, it's morning here. It's 1:49 a.m. specifically.
And here we're behind about 6.
Pardon me, Mark?
No, I was saying here it's we're behind you, Filippo, about 6 hours. So I'm at 4:48 in New York, 4:49 a.m.
And here it's noon hour almost.
I'm just listening what you're talking about the languages. Very interesting topics. And I thought about this topic for a long time because, as you know, Italian people don't speak English at all. They don't understand nothing. You have to figure out in all the Italian team, we have 4 people speaking English. It's nothing. So this is, I'm wondering when we reach the point where the knowledge is spread with other means, with other way, maybe with some magnetic gravitational fields, and that helps people like Italian people to understand this knowledge. Because at the moment we are very I don't know the exact words for describe this situation, but it's like handicap.
I agree. Dr. Gatwa in Kenya was saying that Africa has about 2,500 languages.
2,500 languages.
2,500, I guess, different dialects and things, but that would make it a little difficult. They just sort of shake and nod their heads at one another. He said that in certain places, I mean, not everywhere, of course, but they just sort of think they're communicating yes, no, whatever. But they're really not in certain areas. He said they just sort of play along with it in a way, pretending to understand and pretending to communicate back. But yes, that does create some division between people, I think. Oh, he doesn't speak our language. Oh, he's different. He's got a different dialect or a different tongue, and this creates differences and separation.
Yeah.
So that's why,
we have 11 languages in South Africa, just in
go.
11.
Okay, I pose a question. What is the language of love? What is the language of unconditional love in particular?
It's got to be giving. He said there's no love in space, which we hear a lot of people talk about love and this and that, but in love in space is actually giving.
So, for example, if you were to meet someone that maybe they're suffering, their mother is sick or something is happening, and you give them some GANs. You don't even have to know each other's language in a way. If you give a gift to someone, and you can do it in a way to try to ensure them that try this, give this to your mother, that somehow can get imparted through just rough language or rough translations, or maybe things like that can happen just from eye contact. It'd be enough. And just the fact that someone is caring enough to share something with you at your time of need can make a big difference in itself, whether it's something that works or not. It might be almost irrelevant compared to the intention behind it. So people can feel that intention, they can feel that love, and you don't need to use language necessarily. In fact, language can often interfere with that transaction of unconditional love, because the words get all muddled up in different meanings and connotations of words and translations of words and whatnot. All gets very mental and intellectual rather than just the sheer feeling that comes through, perhaps in just a moment, just instantaneously.
Sarah has put in the chat, I would think the words that come out of our mouths are actually one of the last forms of communication. Think about how you would communicate with a deaf individual.
Mm-hmm. I've said before that I figure that if you can't teach the plasma technology with a stick in the sand, then you're probably making it too complicated.
Yeah, I'm agree with you.
And of course, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm kind of going back to the Aboriginal language of the spiral. Is there any information you have? Because I would love to be able to look at that, but that is the real language of the indigenous peoples. It would be so much fun to be able to do that. And then I also, going back to your last comment, I think Mr. Kesh said that it's emotion. We have to learn how to communicate with emotion. That's the real language. So that's we're so stuck on words that sometimes we can't do the emotion part of things.
And of
Okay.
course, when we go into space, he said, you'll never find anything written. I wonder if you'll find anything spoken.
The communication of soul, no and physicality.
Just
The soul
emotion.
of soul. Thank you.
If you want to explore more about that idea of the relationship between culture and language with the Aboriginals, you can check out this movie. I can't play it because it's all copyrighted and that kind of thing. But I'll put the link in the chat here. And I strongly recommend that everybody watch it.
I would love to.
Quite
Rick, can you do
mind-blowing.
me a
And
favor?
this is pardon me?
Can you do me a favor? I cannot copy anything. I can't do anything from the chat. Something has gone wrong with Zoom since I last updated it. Can you put it into our Telegram or into the Zoom chat? Not here. Into our
Try to bring you in as a panelist and see if you can copy that. Some people mention that that's what happens.
Yeah, you would think they have one version of Zoom, but apparently it's different in different parts of the world. I don't know. Maybe I'm just surmising that, but it just seems the way people's control panel or other things on their Zoom seems to be different. And I know before you used to be able to come into a meeting without updating. And now it seems like if you need an update, you can't go any further than to do the update before you can actually come into a Zoom session.
Yeah, and it will stop you and then update you. But it doesn't do that anymore.
Okay, so the movie is called Voices on the Rise.
Okay.
Do you see the link in the chat? Can you copy that or not?
I see the link, but I don't have those little dots anymore. That's what I'm trying to.
You can click on it and you will see in your browser is some window.
So I can copy it from the browser. Okay.
Yeah, and you can bookmark after. You can do it this way.
Yeah. Okay. Voices. Okay. So I've got the page in the browser. That's good. So I'll just copy it from there and make a bookmark. Thank you.
I'm not able to copy right now with it for some reason.
Okay, so not alone. Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
so that's it. Just click on it and then you can copy it from the browser as instructed there. So this
And
is this fellow Eli Hurdle is actually, I've known him for 25 years or more. Actually more like 40 years actually, sorry. And he's the son of a good friend of mine actually. And he has the native connection. His mother's Aboriginal. And was given a grant to do a video of this language connection. And I was really moved by it. I thought it was quite amazing. He did a really good job. And he interviews one of the chiefs, and the chief talks about what I was mentioning with the language and how it's they start in the center and work around it for instead of going from top to bottom or bottom to top and left to right and all that kind of thing. It's quite interesting about how the language is so important to conveying the meaning in the moment and to be present with the totality, basically all the information rather than part of it.
is there a place where you actually can listen to it? I'm just going through, but, or do you pay for it through Amazon maybe?
Does it show it has to be paid for?
Well, that's what I'm thinking because I can't see. Voices on the Rise. Add to watch list, your rating, blah, blah. And it's talking about IMDb, whatever that may be. Try IMDb Pro free.
Yeah.
Crew, topics, sign. Yeah, it's talking about signing in. Menu.
Can I say something? I would like to, because it's strange talking about language and yesterday on One Planet, One Nation, I become shy and I stopped myself because of it. But I always think about this project. We know if I make guns and I share my guns in other place of the world, let's suppose I'm in Italy, I send my guns to Rick, and this because it's the same guns, this make a huge connection. It's a kind of bridge with me between me and Rick. And my idea was we have to start some kind of initiative where everybody share guns. My guns go to South America. South America goes to New York, and so on. And the purpose of this this initiative is bridge all the globe by sharing guns. Is make connection with other people, because I given my guns to you, and so this bring with it my emotion of love, and also by doing this we are. You remember yesterday I said I pretty handyman. I'm pretty materialistic. I don't know, it's not the right words, but I like do things. And so my idea is sharing GANs across the globe. And we reach two purposes with it. We bridge all the words. We can reach everybody, and more so it is a kind of healing process for Earth, for the planet. What do you reckon about?
Well, we do that already, actually. Spraying, different groups are, and individuals are spraying at certain times. There's a 9 o'clock
yeah, but
by spraying, 6 o'clock thing.
By spraying, you is kind of cover the place where you are. And,
well, not really. If you look at the way atoms move around the planet and so on, like people are putting the GANs waters into lakes, into rivers, into the ocean, spraying it in cities and country places all over the world, in every country of the world. And that stuff travels. The nanoparticles are very fast in the way they, if you put some CO2 GANs in some clear water, it makes it cloudy right away. It just, and then it settles out really quickly too. So it's very active kind of stuff that likes to go out and separate itself as much as it can in its environment. And it's already been proven that we all have at least 100,000 atoms that existed in every other body that's on the planet now or has ever existed on the planet. At least 100,000 atoms of each person, each entity, basically. So all the stuff gets recirculated through the planet, and perhaps we could make more of a connection by, mailing GANs to each other or something like that, if that's what you have in mind. But we do have a lot of, there is a lot of exposure. There's a lot of people also giving GANs to friends, and especially during the pandemic, it was very popular. It still is, and many lives have been saved actually through all that work. That was the cause of the formation of at least a dozen, probably 2 or 3 dozen Telegram groups in all the different languages, so that people could come together in their language and ask questions about the GANs, how to make it and how to organize with others, help others, and so on. Anybody who needed help in any language of the world basically was able to do that through the Telegram groups. It's very practical. And many thousands of people in some of these groups.
Rick, we have a hand up from Giani.
A hand up. You're trying to get your elbow in, Giani?
John, please help me with translation. John Wells.
Sí, espera que tengo que...
necesito abrir mi vídeo para decir la idea con respecto a la pregunta. I need to share screen. Ok. Jetta, por favor. Aquí tengo una caja plasmática. John?
Here I have a plasmatic coating.
Donde tengo los ganses.
Where I have ganses.
Y en cualquier momento donde estamos podemos intervenir porque tenemos los ganses. A ver, un
Here you
momento.
can see I have all types of ganses at hand.
En esa caja, escucha un momento, mira, tienes que sujetarlo. A ver. Ah, sí. Ok. Aquí tenemos todos los ganses. Le hemos llamado el kit de emergencia.
This we call the emergency kit.
Pero también tenemos ganses de, creo que 100 y pico países.
¿Países o tipo de materiales?
No, tenemos de muchos países porque hemos hecho cambios de ganses.
We have over 120 different ganses from different countries. We've exchanged with different people.
Y por ejemplo, aquí es un regalo que hemos recogido en República Moldavia.
This we've brought from Moldavia.
Donde cientos de personas han regalado a Linz ganses.
These persons have given these ganses over to Linz.
Y de aquí ha llegado un poquito en República Moldavia y nosotros hemos multiplicado todo eso, añadiendo de todos los sitios donde hemos hecho los talleres.
And we have added ganses which we have prepared in different teachings in different places.
También ganses de plantas.
Yeah, olives, son olivos.
Es una planta que no sé cómo se llama en español.
They look like olives, but he says he doesn't know the name of these products.
Y con esa caja que tiene poco peso.
This box doesn't weigh so much.
Tengo todos los campos del universo.
I've got all the fields from the universe.
Porque, como has visto, utilizamos muy poquito.
As you have seen, we use very little material when we're doing our work.
Y como está preparada la caja,
and as by the looks, as you could see, the way we prepare the box, they interact one with each other.
Las cajas están nanocubiertas, pero también aquí tengo tubo de cobre nano cubierto.
These boxes are nano coated in and out, and I've also got some wires and tubes here, copper tubes.
Y en los casos de emergencia solo quito eso, meto eso, y aquí voy a poner bobinas de cobre de zinc que necesito y voy a obtener el ganso.
And in a type of emergency, as you can see, I only take the ganses out of this big box and put this hanging wires where I could hang a plate to nano coat.
Es algo parecido a lo que me ha enseñado el señor Kesh con la caja con los campos del universo, la botella de Coca-Cola.
And this idea I got from the idea Mr. Kesh has given us with the Coca-Cola bottle.
Y por eso aquí tenemos todos los campos del universo.
And that is why we have all the fields from the universe here.
Y el GANS que lo hacemos aquí lo vamos a añadir y para compartir y añadir la conexión con todo lo que ya tenemos.
And whichever GANs we produce anywhere else, we add here to our box.
Thank you.
I just have a question for Giani. The bottles, every one of them, and they're all different GANs. Okay, do they interact with each other in close proximity, or are each of them nano-coated? I mean, each of the little bottles nano-coated inside and out to stop them from mixing?
Pregunta Gail si interaccionan todos los ganges entre ellos o los tubos están nano recubiertos y los campos no se afectan.
Voy a explicarlo ahora muy sencillo y voy a abrir otra vez la cámara video.
I will explain this in fine detail and I'll open my video again, the camera.
Ok. Aquí cuando lo tengo en la caja es una sopa de campos.
Here inside these boxes I have a soup of fields.
Si yo quiero activarlo, porque claro, están aquí hay un conjunto de campos.
Here is a group of fields in this container.
Cuando quiero utilizar, por ejemplo, el CO2 de aquí,
whenever I want to use the CO2 from here,
lo voy a sacar de la caja.
I'll get it out of the box, mix it up.
¿Sí? Y ya tengo ahora solo los campos de CO2.
I've only got the fields of CO2 here.
Porque le he sacado de la sopa de los campos y quiero utilizar eso.
And I've taken it out of the soup of fields I have. So I only want to use the CO2, which is in this container.
Y ahora tengo solo los campos de CO2.
Yeah, as you can see, I've only got the CO2 ganses here in this container.
Lo meto dentro y saco otro, pasa lo mismo con cualquiera de los
Whichever
ganses.
I grab here from this container, all the same work is done. Mix it up, get the proper gans I want to use.
Pasa lo mismo con todo tipo de ganses que tengo en la caja.
Also, this also happens with all these other type of natural ganses I have.
Los ganses es un material creado por mi alma, por nuestra alma.
All these ganses are created through my soul.
Nuestros almas.
Our souls.
Porque soy con Jetta y todos los que participan en los talleres.
Because this is done together with Jetta and all the people that participate in the different teachings.
Y lo podemos conectar en cualquier momento.
And this will connect in a moment whenever we need it.
Nosotros, digamos, utilizando atención, intención, emoción.
Here we intervene with our intention, the tension, and all the feelings and
Attention, intention, emotion. Attention for physicality, intention for my soul, the physicality, y emotion, my soul of man. Thank you.
Very well explained. Muy bien explicado. Have the fields reached you, Gail?
They're always here.
Solo es un punto de vista.
This is my point of view.
Hay mucho más.
There is much more to all this.
Y por eso el señor Kesh lo explica muy claramente.
And that is why Mr. Kesh is teaching us very clearly.
Y también, como ha dicho Jalal, no necesitamos hacer más ganses.
And as Jalal has said, we don't need to produce any more ganses.
El señor Kesh lo dice siempre, porque ya pasamos al next step, el paso siguiente.
And as Mr. Kesh has said, we've already gone to the next step.
utilizando los rayos cósmicos
utilizing the cosmic rays
y creando rayos cósmicos.
and creating cosmic rays.
Thank you.
So Giani, you have a box of plasmas there. And since you mentioned the Coca-Cola bottle reactor, I forwarded that to Rick in Telegram, Rick. I don't know if you want to bring that up, but it is full of plasmas. And your box, I believe, is also full of plasmas.
Yeah, the containers where you've had the GANs water or ganses already have the sort of a soul inside, and that is kept inside the container even if you empty the container.
Y hay más, John. En la caja donde tengo los ganses nunca se acaban, nunca se terminan.
See, in these boxes, the ganses never end. They're continually there.
Podemos multiplicarlo al infinito y más allá.
We can multiply this to the infinite and more.
Y tiene tanta intensidad que se necesita utilizar solo gotas.
And it's so intense, we can only need a few drops from each one of them.
Porque ahora ya comprendemos que no necesitamos mucho.
And now we comprehend we don't need much of these ganses to be able to produce whatever we want to do.
En la dimensión de plasma solo hay magnitud y intensidad.
In the dimension of plasma, you've only got big magnitude and intensity.
Si tú tienes ganses a una intensidad alta, claro que puedes hacer cualquier cosa con ellos.
If your intensity in the plasma surroundings is very intense, you can just do about anything.
Porque nosotros somos los creadores de ese plasma, ese material.
We are the creators of this material, these ganses.
Para mí, los ganses son como mis niños.
The ganses for me are just like my kids.
Y en la caja tengo un universo de niños.
I have a universe of kids, young siblings and young seedlings.
Y crecemos juntos.
And we grow together.
Yo alimento los niños con mi amor.
I am continually feeding my kids with my love.
Ellos me regalan 1000 veces más el amor y el equilibrio.
They are giving me back very much more love, 1,000 times more back.
Es la intensidad más alta que he vivido, es magnífico.
It's the biggest intensity of fields I've ever lived through. It's magnificent.
Thank you.
I think we're all ecstatic, aren't we?
Okay, well, this is the link with the universe in the bottle. I'm not sure if this is the way it's supposed to be. It's just the text link.
I think there were some pictures I probably should have forwarded. Yvonne had sent that to me and the pictures did not come through. But this is from the wiki, I believe.
Link.
Keshe Foundation wiki.
It links back to the the bottle after an ad, the plasma bottle reactor, 10-minute video. Which I think we've seen and shown a few times before. And there's another link to probably part 2, I guess. So did you want me to show those videos, Mark, or would you have mine there?
That's a good idea.
No, I was just bringing it in because of Giani said it was like, he was thinking with his box there, it was like the Coca-Cola bottle with the universe in a bottle. And again, here we're working with atoms rather than stars. We were reading through this the other day.
As it is up above, it's down below. Hermes Trismegistus.
But this bottle is full of plasmas, according to the paper written.
Well, let's watch the video. I might as well. We're here, so it's probably quite a few people haven't seen it, and just take a little break and watch it. You see,
just $67. You can make as many videos as you and you never need to pick up a camera or use.
What's going on? Is that from someone else?
Sounds like we have an ad coming in.
I'm not sure, but I think it was mine
Something
because I
behind.
clicked on the link by mistake.
Yeah, that's gotta be careful of clicking
Yeah,
the wrong button.
the mic. That's why I like to keep my mic closed when I'm not speaking.
Mine is closed now.
Okay, well, let's indulge in this 10-minute video, Bottle Plasma Reactor, Part 1. I'm way back in the good old days of just about 15 years ago, in 2008.
Same electrodes and more and different across 2 electrodes which are not even connected to each other. 60, 70, 65. The drop is because of the resistance in a meter. It comes to a point that it doesn't go anymore. Take it away, put it back on again, and the build-up is there again. So for the first time we can see the development and creation of energy from open space in a plasmatic condition.
When the stakes are high at work, your tone matters. Grammarly's
We gotta
advanced
press
tone
the skip
suggestion.
ads.
Yeah, that's why I normally don't play YouTube videos. It's just not worth the...
This is one of the strangest materials I have ever seen. It is
not worth the aggravation. Okay, we'll try again here. Yeah, it's going to have a lot of...
We're going to do some testing with a very simple setup created by Mr. Kesh, a nuclear engineer, to prove the deposits of graphene or SPT, SP2, SP3s on copper electrodes. this test is going to be performed at normal pressure and normal temperature, room temperature. Okay. Now what we see here, this is a Coca-Cola bottle, a transparent Coca-Cola bottle, empty, completely empty. Without anything inside, empty, and with new copper electrodes who are made from nails from the roof.
In this video, nuclear engineer Cash demonstrates with a non-acidic liquid inside a simple waste bottle used as a plasma reactor that it is possible to create low levels of energy and that atomic carbon layers are deposited on the inside electrodes, which is confirmed by a nuclear center after independent replication and is confirmed by a leading nano institute in Europe after Raman spectroscopy. For the creation of carbon sp2 and sp3, no additional sources like magnets, lasers, arcs or gamma rays is used. The experiment happens at room temperature and normal atmospheric pressure.
This is to demonstrate that nano material, nano tubes and nano layers can be produced in a very simple way without use of radioactive material and without use of any high temperature and pressure at the room conditions. What we've done, we have already submitted this to a nuclear institute which they've done the test independently, confirming the correctness of the method to fill this bottle up with a specific liquid which is made and is in this bottle. It's transparent liquid, harmless, and then we measure to show that there are literally plasma electric charges within the bottle. Then we measure the voltages within the bottle because it will be demonstrated soon.
Now, question. The liquid you have there, is it identical to the liquid you gave to the Nuclear Institute?
Yes. So what we do, we fill up the bottle, not full way, partially. We close the gap. And as you can see, we leave the bottle to be for a while, that the process of plasma production of plasma can carry on. For a while, that the process of plasma production of plasma can carry on.
Okay, so in the top there is a plasma.
The plasma will be created slowly in the top, and what will happen, we will demonstrate very shortly that you actually do not need the environment of the liquid to achieve the production. This is like an ignition system, the liquid. Once the process stops, the whole reaction chain of reactions will take over, and hydrogen will be created, and the plastic, which is the constituent of the bottle, will release its carbon to be deposited on the material as a nano layer, and the other component of the plastic, which is hydrogen, will be released as atomic hydrogen, which can be used for energy production and has been measured to be correct. What I want to do is do something very simple. We empty the content of the bottle over here.
Okay.
Now the bottle is totally empty. The electrodes are getting dark. Now, the energies are at 70s. If you look, you're building up, and then you can go back to negative and switch forward, which shows the capacitor property of the nanomaterial. But now, you see the small voltages, the small cap, small bottle. My philosophy has been that in the universe there are no caps. We don't see any caps on galaxies. There are open space energies. So I'm going to show a very simple material. This is the same phenomena. This is the cap, and this is the bottle, totally open. We still have the same energy. Is this what we call tapping into universal energies? Even higher, at a much higher levels. Now we have the energy from outside the bottle penetrating inside. So,
but still there is a plasma.
There is a plasma. The process has started. You cannot stop the process.
So you mean that in the
you see
in the bottle itself?
Yes.
Plasma is created?
Plasma now is created in a very rapid point, because now the CO2, which is within the air, is becoming part of the components of absorption. Now you will see the deposition of the carbon on the electrodes will be much faster, because the CO2 in the atmosphere now is allowed to join the total decomposition of the head of the aspect as well. So maybe it's the first time you see total empty bottle, no connections, no liquid.
Okay.
You've seen it, yeah? So you don't need me to confirm to you, you checked it yourself. Now, look at this one. 154 millivolts. Well, the interesting thing is, we drain it. It's finished. We go back to it. We're back again. So the system is regenerating immediately. So the claim that it could be static does not apply. But you might see something very interesting. Two different electrodes. You see voltages across the electrodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do the reverse. We do the reverse. Small amounts. But it shows very much the energy is within the plasma.
It's quite stable, this one, huh?
Yeah, because they are very, very stable. What we do, we change. 80 on the same electrodes, and more and different across two electrodes which are not even connected to each other. 67 to 65. The drop is because of the resistance in the meter. It comes to a point that it doesn't go anymore. Take it away, put it back on again, and the build-up is there again. So, for the first time, you can see the development and creation of energy from open space in a plasmatic condition.
This is one of the strangest materials.
Just get the other video lined up here. Second.
And that first one you did put in the chat, correct? This is the video?
Yes, that's the bottle plasma reactor part 1. And we're looking at part 2 next here.
Rick, when they're doing the testing with the voltmeter and so on, is it, would you mind just explaining exactly what's happening? Because it sort of looks like he's putting the electrode over top of, but without touching because it's inside the bottle. I'm just not sure exactly what they're doing there. I know you're
a
experts.
piece coming out of the bottle. There's also a piece, that's why you use the hot glue to seal that hole and hold it suspended.
Correctness.
You're talking about the electrodes here inside. Like as Mark just said, it's glued around the
opening, yeah,
where it goes in. So you have the penny kind of sized, it's a roofing nail, I think, or some sort of
yes, it said so.
special nail. And it's connected to a wire or some kind of probe that goes into it. And they're outside the bottle, so he touches on the let's find the point here. He touches the probes onto the various electrodes, basically.
So that's the part that's sticking outside the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And then, does he just touch that part with both?
Well, he touches one of the electrodes with one of the probes and another electrode with the other probe, and he compares them.
Yeah, it just looks to me like he's touching the same piece of metal.
At first, yes. Then he goes to the 2.
Yeah, then he switches and makes it touch the other one.
2 different electrodes. You see voltages across the electrodes. Yeah. When we do the reverse, small amounts. But it shows very much.
Oh, there, he's not touching it. It's on the inside of the bottle.
Stable, this one, huh? Yeah, because they are very
inside the bottle. No.
I mean, that's what's confusing to me.
Yeah, there's a piece above, outside the bottle. This is what he's touching.
With both probes.
Yeah. Or with 2 separate electrodes.
And he's got them in a different place, position.
Take it away.
Yeah, so one's probing one electrode, one's probing the other electrode. So that's when he gets a big difference there, 0.6 volts.
Yeah, I just wish I could see how he's
open space.
Those.
Yeah, plasmatic condition.
What don't you understand about it?
Everything. Rick, when I see his probe, he's touching, but it looks like he's touching the very same piece of metal, but about an inch apart.
That's correct.
Yep, and he gets almost 0 on the meter, right?
Okay, get that.
Okay, then he goes along and tests.
Finished. You go back to it. You're back again. So the system is regenerating immediately.
See, that one he just got 55 millivolts on the same electrode.
You might see something very interesting. 2 different electrodes. You see voltages across the electrodes. When we do the reverse, small amounts. But it shows very much the energy is within the plasma.
It's quite stable, this one, huh?
Yeah, because they are very, very stable. What we do, we change. 80 on the same electrodes and more and different across two electrodes which are not even connected to each other. 60, 70, 65. The drop is because of the resistance in emitter. It comes to a point that it doesn't go anymore. Take it away. Back on again. And it goes.
So you get the idea. It's just trying different electrodes and seeing what the voltages are. You can do that same experiment if you have a meter.
I did get one. I do have one.
Well, if you have a piece of nano-coated material, whatever it is, a piece of wire or nano-coated plate, you can stick the probes on the plate or wire in different places, and you'll get voltages coming across.
Yeah, okay. And he's taking out very quickly between two different electrodes, I guess. You know, the two different nails. He's connecting and then he's reducing all the energy, and then it goes to zero, and then he takes it away and then gets more energy and so on. Is that correct?
Well, sometimes it goes to zero, sometimes it goes negative and comes back to positive again and goes back to zero and back to negative if you hold them on there.
So between the two, they're actually draining.
Well, not necessarily. They're it doesn't necessarily go down. It can go up instead of down. So are you draining then?
I don't think so. Oh, Jacko says balancing.
I think he's showing you can tap into the energies of the universe, that there's plenty of energy in the environment without
essentially.
Yeah.
And like I say, if you just take an ordinary nano-coated coil or nano-coated plate or nano-coated anything, you put those two probes, you know, a couple of inches away on your sample, and you'll get all kinds of strange readings coming through. But if you do that on plain copper, shiny copper, you'll just get zero. You won't get any ranging of the multimeter and like significant voltages up to 0.7. Like that's quite a bit. 700 millivolts. That's quite a voltage.
But it's not a volt. It's less than a volt, you know?
Yeah, 700 millivolts is 0.7 volts. Yeah.
All right. I think Giani wanted to add something here. He has his hand up. I don't know why he's raising his hand.
Because
just barge right in, Giani.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. Horacio, please help me with translation.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Mulțumesc, Horacio, pentru participarea la atelierul cu subaracheta.
Thank you, Horacio, for the participation to the rocket stove.
Inițiatorul și omul cu experiență că folosește subarachetă de câțiva ani.
The initiator, because I used the rocket stove mass heater for almost 4 years now.
Aș vrea să adaug părerea mea personală vis-a-vis de experimentul cu butelia de Coca-Cola.
Gianni said he wants to add something regarding to the Coca-Cola bottle experiment.
Am văzut explicația domnului Cash într-un video acum 4 ani.
I saw the explication of Mr. Cash in a video 4 years ago.
Am replicat-o imediat și am obținut aceleași rezultate.
I replicated and I obtained the same results immediately.
Dar nu înțelegeam ce se întâmplă.
But I couldn't understand what is happening.
Și atunci am început să studiez, m-am dus la atelierele ținute de domnul Cash, în special cele pentru copii, ca să înțeleg ce este plasma.
And then I started to study and went to kids workshop made by Mr. Cash to understand what is plasma.
Noi am făcut pinii de 9 cm.
We made our pin, our electrodes of 9 centimeters.
Ceea ce vedeți în imagine este o spirală de cupru și din centrul ei este tija cu care se face măsurătorile.
What you see in this image is a spiral of copper, and from the middle of it is the pine that is getting out.
Am obținut și alte materiale, am făcut și alte materiale nanoacoperite, de exemplu zinc, și am obținut aceleași rezultate.
I uncovered any materials like zinc, and we obtained the same results.
Am folosit și titan.
We use even titan.
Titan nanoacoperit.
Nano-covered, of course.
Pentru că comportamentul pe care îl vedem are loc doar când nanoacoperim anumite elemente.
Because this, what we see is because only when the nano elements are building up.
Și sticla de Coca-Cola este nanoacoperită pe interior.
And the Coca-Cola bottle is nano-covered interiorly.
De fapt, nu știu din video, dar știu ce am făcut.
I do not know exactly from the video, but I know what I did.
Eu am nanoacoperit pinii direct în cutia de Coca-Cola, în butelia de Coca-Cola.
I nano-covered the electrodes in the Coca-Cola bottle.
Și am obținut voltajul care a fost arătat în video și chiar mai mult.
And I obtained the voltage that it's shown in the video and even more.
Și negativ și pozitiv.
Positive and negative.
Pentru că valoarea pe multimetru coboară sub 0 și crește la fel.
Because the value on the multimeter is above 0 and it's going down.
După ce am văzut filmulețele cu unde domnul Cash workshop-urile pentru copii, am început să înțeleg.
After I saw the workshop for kids, I could understand.
În fizicalitate folosim cunoașterea până la nivel de atom.
In the physicality, we use the knowledge at the atomic level.
În dimensiunea plasmei utilizăm spațiul care ține atomii.
In the plasma dimension, we are using the space between the atoms.
Adică câmpurile.
And that's the fields.
Este un punct de vedere și mi-a confirmat ceea ce simțeam, dar nu reușeam să-mi explic, să înțeleg.
It's a point of view, but he confirmed to me because I couldn't explain to myself what is going on.
Din momentul în care am descoperit acest lucru, nanoacoper toate vasele, tot ce intră în casă.
From the moment I discovered the thing, I nano-cover everything I introduce in my house, every bowl, everything, every bottle.
Și am realizat că, de fapt, în cutia universului există doar cât pot eu să cuprind că există acolo.
And I realized that inside the universe box, in there is only what I can manage and I can understand.
Posibil pentru miercurea următoare, împreună cu Horațiu, că venim la Cluj, Horațiu, să pregătim un experiment, să arătăm exact cutia asta și ce rezultate facem cu măsurătorile.
If you want, we can show next time, because Giani is coming to Cluj, to our place. So we can show to you the experiment with the box, the universe box.
Ar fi frumos, nu, este frumos să o facem în direct, să vedem ce punem în cutie.
It would be nice to see live what we put inside the box.
Scuze, știm ce am pus în cutie, să vedem ce putem scoate din ea.
Sorry, I know what we put in to see what we get out of it.
Domnul Cash ne-a oferit cunoașterea.
Mr. Cash offers us the knowledge.
Cunoașterea este cea care ne ajută să înțelegem cum funcționează universul, universul.
The knowledge helps us to understand how the universe and universe is working.
Și în anumite momente chiar putem să vedem strălucirea care este în cutie.
And in some moments we can see the shining that is inside the box.
În cutiile pe care le-ați văzut am făcut sute de nanoacoperiri.
In these boxes that I presented to you, I made hundreds of nano covering.
Acum, în aceeași cutie, punem materialele și se nanoacopere datorită câmpurilor.
And now, in the same boxes, we just put in the materials and they now cover themselves.
Din aceeași cutie ne alimentăm.
From the same box, we feed ourselves.
Dar în realitate o facem cu sufletul.
But in reality, we do it with our soul.
Cunoașterea este cea care ne face să fim liberi.
The knowledge helps us to be free.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Și Horațiu, ți-aș ruga câteva cuvinte despre experiența personală pe care o ai cu atelierul făcut.
Cu soba, zici tu?
Da?
Okay. Gianni asked me to share a personal feeling about the workshop with the rocket stove. If you like.
Plasma rocket stove.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Plasma rocket stove mass heater.
Rocket man.
We start to the earth and we went to the stars. Yeah. What my experience, because I have both experience when I built the stove alone and without the plasma, and now when I build one with the plasma and with lots of people and lots of energy there, beautiful energy. So the idea was that the principle of the rocket stove mass heater is a simple one, is by forcing the fire to okay, 1 second. Forcing the speed of the fire. Just 1 second, okay. Okay. Sorry. So the principle of the work of the stove is very simple, but the construction of it is the final project is seen outside, and it's seen by the feeling of it and how can we use it to I don't know, to create an environment. So that's the most important thing. Just like Mr. Kesh is saying, in the Coca-Cola bottle, he's creating an environment so that can absorb the fields from the universe. Just like that, everything we are constructing in the plasma dimension, it's at another level, at emotional and at the soul level, because we are not just building a rocket stove, we are building a soul that can warm up other souls, like when we build a dome, so he has his own soul, like everything we do. So this is very important for the people to understand, to make a difference between only the material, what kind of material we're using, and the energy that comes from at first, you know, because at first is the energy and then is the material side of it. So the experience of what was very nice, because all the people were bringing new ideas and new creative opportunities, and they let go of the words, of the magic words. I cannot do it, I cannot understand it, you know, that block themselves from really enjoying and realize it, that you do not need to at first you cannot understand with the mind, but the soul gets it very quickly. And we just using opportunity to present to the people the beauty of plasma, and understanding that comes after it, because the understanding can come by learning and, you know, reading and listening to other people's, but also directly to the soul. So this is the clearest way when you connect to the soul. And, yeah.
Sorry. Te rog, ne poți spune percepția ta față de materiale? Cum le-ai simțit când ai lucrat fără plasmă și acum când am lucrat cu plasmă?
Gianni asked me to share the feeling I have when I was working with the material without the plasma and with the plasma. So when I built my stove, was I use bricks, and I use a little bit of cement, because I made different construction of the bed, but it was I don't know, it was a strange mix of it, because it took me a little bit to understand that you do not need to use very special materials. The earth is sufficient enough for it, but it's very important how you use it and how you treat it. So when I work with plasma and with the cob and material that we use in this rocket plasma mass heater, is very different, because at first I use gloves, but at the end I just need to, I put my hand on the material, and it was I saw it was very comfortable and very nice to the touch, and afterwards my hands were very very okay, without any scratches or any other things like you felt with other materials that you buy. So it was very different, very it means different in the good way. Thank you, Gianni.
Mulțumesc, Horatiu. Mulțumesc pentru toată dăruirea care ești și suntem împreună. Thank you.
Thank you, Horatiu, for sharing and what we share as gifts together. Thank you. Thank you, Gianni, and thank you all the knowledge seekers that share their soul and their images and their and their knowledge to all the people that are open to it. Thank you all.
By sharing freely, teaching freely, we have broken the taboo of the borders, nationality, and race. Thank you, Mr. Cash, for the gift. Thank you.
To cache, the physical interactions and events which are forced inside the plasma reactor are similar or identical to those that happen over a longer time scale on micro and macro level in the universe, like the formation of stars and galaxies, supernovas, black holes, dark matter, gravitational effects, radiation, fission, fusion, and so on. Nuclear engineer Cash demonstrated with a non-acidic liquid inside a simple waste bottle used as a plasma reactor that it is possible to create energy and that atomic carbon layers can be deposited on the inside electrodes, which is confirmed by leading institutes in Europe.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you to Giani.
Horatiu, please help me.
Okay.
Cu această ocazie mulțumesc și lui Dan și Andreea.
With this occasion, I want to thank you, Dan and Andrea,
Pentru că au fost de acord să experimentăm împreună crearea unui nou copiluț.
because they were okay with building a new baby.
Și cum am spus, nu avem puncte de reper pentru că este cea mai lungă, soba cu cea mai lung pat, 12 metri.
And how I said, we have a point of view, no point of view before, because this is the first stove that we build with 10 meters length of bed on horizontal.
12 meters.
12 meters, yeah. Yes.
Yes. Am învățat zilele acestea stând aici cu ea și dormind pe ea.
I learned these days sitting here and sleeping on the stove.
Am învățat cum să fac focul, cum să ard anumite elemente.
I learned how to make the fire, how to burn some elements.
Și pregătim un video cu nanoacoperirea făcută în soba rachetă.
And we are preparing a video with nano covering that we are doing inside the rocket stove.
Mai mult decât atât, un experiment care l-am făcut în soba rachetă la Horatiu, transmutarea cuprului în diverse spectre.
And even more, an experiment that we made at the rocket stove to Horatius' place, transmuting the copper in different states of it by inside the rocket stove.
Și aici te rog să spui tu experiența pe care am făcut-o împreună.
Yes, Gianni asked me to share our experiments that we made together.
Acum 3 ani.
Yes, 3 years ago, we built some coils to nanocover to make some gases, and the rocket stove was going because it was winter. So we just introduced the coils inside the fireplace that was there after a time that it was very hot, and we can see the changing of the colors of the coils of the copper from green to goldish to even platinum and different colors. And just by observing them, we can pull them out anytime we want to stop the process at the moment we wanted. So it was a very nice experiment with coils.
Dar nu când era foc. Nu când era foc,
No.
doar la temperatura sobei.
Yes, only without the fire, only when the stove was very hot, was only the heat from the stove.
Aici putem să facem nanoacoperirea și în cuptorul din spate.
In this stove, we can make the nano covering inside the oven from the back.
În funcție de cu ce alimentezi focul, ajunge și la 600 de grade.
Depends how the fire is maintaining. You can get there even 600 degrees Celsius.
Se poate și în cuptorul de pizza, dar durează mai mult.
You can do it inside the pizza oven, but it takes a longer time.
Te rog să continui, Horațiu. Scuze de întrerupere.
Yeah, so we obtain the coils where we can obtain the same color on the coil, but we can obtain different spectrum of the same coil. So it was very interesting, the sensation, because it was not dark. It was very, very colorful, very, very different. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Horațiu, am descoperit locul unde putem să ajungem la 1800 de grade.
Oh, Giani has said she discovered a place when we can get up to 1000 degrees.
Folosind o parachetă, putem să ne creăm propria sticlă.
Using the rocket stove, we can create our own glass.
La fel, putem într-o anumită zonă să facem, cum am povestit, locul de topire al plasticului pentru turnat în formă.
Oh, and in another place of the stove, you can make a place where you can put the plastic to melt and mold it in some forms that we want.
Și asta doar ca să desfacem lucrurile din jurul nostru fără să le mai aruncăm pe planetă.
And this only to open up the things that we have all around us without any throwing them in the nature.
Este o soluție care poate fi aplicată acum.
This is a solution that can be applied right now.
Învățăm să desfacem ce am făcut.
We can learn to open up what we have made in sense of plastic and aluminium and other stuff.
Orice.
Yeah, anything.
Și așa, deja suntem conștienți că putem să ne creăm tot ceea ce este necesar.
In this way, we are constant that we create everything that we need for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask Giani a question? Does he use GANs with the plastic when they're melting it to make something?
Poate să-ți răspundă direct Horațiu, pentru că are aceeași cunoaștere.
Zicea dacă folosești gaz cu plastic când îl topești.
Nu ard gansul.
We do not burn the gases. We only use the gases to construction to change the materials to another level of energy.
utilizând plasma în construcția sobei,
by using the plasma in the construction of the stove.
în prima fază nu am găsit raportul corect și am pușcat cărămizile.
In the first time, we didn't find the perfect combination, and some bricks just exploded inside the barrel.
Și chiar te rog să povestești.
And we didn't know what was happening, because at first we had small cracks and small bits, but then a brick just exploded inside it and just dropped inside the way of the fire. So we have to open up the butt to see what is going on, and we saw that one brick that was bought from the magazine was getting too much water or something like that, and he exploded, and we managed to put another one, an old one that we found in that place, in that house, that was burned okay and another quality, and it was okay after that. So
te rog să spui, te rog să explici că nu ai niciun pericol. De fapt, s-a întâmplat în interiorul butoiului.
Yeah, it was not any danger, because everything was happening inside the barrel.
Și după asta am schimbat anumite gansuri în compoziție, în compoziția materialului.
After that, we changed a little bit of the composition of gases inside the material, and everything was okay.
Acum putem să ardem absolut orice în sobă fără niciun fel de pericol.
Now we can burn anything in the stove without any danger.
Dar de fapt, ceea ce cunoașterea care o am acum, am creat condiția în camera de ardere să putem arde orice.
But how I understand it now, we created a condition inside the burning room, so the temperature can be as high as we need it to be.
Despre asta vorbeam, împreună cu echipa am născut un nou copil.
This was what I was talking about. Together with the team, we born a new baby.
Acum este împlinit pentru că știu cum funcționează, ce vrea, cum vrea să fie alimentată.
And now it's finished, because I know how it works. I know it very well. How it needs to be fed, the fire in different cases, if you want to cook, if you want to make other things.
Am stat aici împreună, am ascultat cânte cu ei, am dormit pe ea și am învățat cum să mergem în continuare.
I sit here, I slept on it, I stay with it, and I heard it, the song of the rocket stove, and I understand now what we can do next time.
Prietenii care ne-au invitat și au pus la dispoziție spațiul acesta abandonat, acum știu cum să folosească.
Our friend that invited us to use this abandoned space, now they have an idea how to can use it for children's and every people that wants to have experiments.
Reamintesc că noi nu am inventat nimic.
I remind you that we didn't invent anything.
Ci doar folosim aceeași materie la un nivel mai elevat.
We are just using the same material at a high level mode.
Obținând rezultate diferite.
And we obtain different results by that.
Cumva acum am făcut manualul pentru prima sobă rachetă plasmatică.
In some way, Now we made the manual for the first plasmatic rocket stove heater, mass heater.
Începem de la materie și nu mai aruncăm nimic.
We're starting from the matter and we don't disclose of anything of garbage.
Și învățăm să folosim direct razele cosmice și mai ales cum să le creăm.
And we are learning how to work with the cosmic rays and how to understand them, to use them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one thing I wanted to ask, how do you heat the ovens, the little ovens on the side there? Are there any pipes or is it straight from the big can?
Yes, the oven, what you see above in the back and in the right side, they are connected with the top of the stove, and the hole that you see down there is just for the wood to be kept dry.
Oh, so it's not direct. Yeah.
Horațiu, te rog și în limba română ca să poată fi revăzut și de român. Scuze de întrerupere. Și întrebarea și răspunsul, te rog.
Okay, Giani asked me to translate in Romanian. One second. M-a întrebat dacă căldura care vine în cuptoare vine din sobă direct sau vine de lângă cuptor, de lângă butoi. Și că vine cuptoarele de sus, sunt conectate la butoi și de acolo vine căldura, radiază și încălzește tot lutul de acolo.
Plus că poți să crești temperatura prin atenție, intenție, emoție.
Plus, you can raise the temperature by attention, intention and emotion.
Pentru asta am făcut mai multe cuptoare.
For this, we made many ovens.
La fel am făcut și cu bateriile plasmatice. Dintr-o singură baterie am scos mai multe voltaje.
The same we made with the plasmatic batteries. From the same battery, we have different voltages.
La fel cum avem carbonul, avem carbon 6, carbon 12, carbon 14, carbon infinit.
The same we have carbon 14, carbon 16, carbon 18, carbon infinite.
La fel putem să facem cu absolut orice lucru.
The same we can do with everything.
Cunoașterea este cea care ne conduce.
The knowing, the knowledge is that was drive us.
Thank you.
So the carbon 14 and so on is also the communication? Is that
the carbon is communication.
Okay.
And in the planet. Carbonul este comunicarea pe planeta aceasta și nu numai. Este una dintre variante, în punct de vedere.
The carbon is the communication on this planet and other places, but it's just a point of view.
Carbonul este conexiunea.
The carbon is the connection.
Dar sunt nivele mult mai elevate.
But are higher levels of the connections.
Și aici deja cine urmărește lecțiile domnului Crea despre razele cosmice este explicat clar.
And those that watch Mr. Cash explaining about cosmic rays, they can understand it very firm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Giani.
Este doar punctul meu de vedere în funcție de cunoașterea care o am acum. Thank you.
It's just my point of view from my understanding that I have now. Thank you.
Is there
gift, Brigitte, please?
So is there a question? I didn't understand.
No, I think you were just the answer. We don't have the question yet.
Horatiu, please help me.
Da, mă piță,
Brigitte, așteptăm darul tău.
Brigitte, we are waiting for your gift.
Yeah. Well, yes, I am here again. Dear Rick, dear Mark, dear Giani, dear everybody that is participating and listening all over the world. Yeah, there are some messages today for you by my images and some impulses, as you know, with sharing of life experience. Today is the 25th of January 2023. So we can see when we see this number 717 and 7, the quality of healing, 1, the quality of a new cycle is starting, the possibility, the chance, yeah. So, and for me, it's like a scale expressing balance, harmony, which is also an expression of the number 6, the cross number. And yeah, the 6 and 9, if you turn 6 around, it can be 9. Anyway, it's expressing movement, and it can be a part of the spiral. It can be regarded as a part of the spiral. And so I am so glad that the number of my house is 69, what makes a wonderful image and is expressing movement. Yeah, so this is my first image for you. And before I talk about, I invite you, all of you, just look, not only with the eyes, with the outer eyes, with the inner eyes, sense. I suggest for 1 minute, just noticing what is arising in yourself when seeing and sensing this image. I just say, what is arising in yourself? If there is somebody who wants to say something, you can say something. It's not necessary. I wanted to give you the opportunity that I don't just talk about this, why I made this image and what it's showing. It's more for you. Yeah, what is in resonance, or what does it mean, or what is, yeah, what do you feel? We need feeling in this world. Yeah.
Brigitte, for me, it's Horatiu, please.
Okay.
Pentru mine, reprezentarea asta m-a dus la o conexiune cu cele 4 câmpuri de forță ale Universului.
For me, this representation brought me to connection to the force fields of the universe. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
O formație stelară.
A star formation.
Yeah.
din care pot să construiesc orice.
In which I can construct anything I want.
Văd centru, creatorul, de unde radiază emoția.
I see the center, the creator, from where the emotion is radiating.
După care, la fel ca și neutronul, electronul și protonul, îi avem în această imagine. Cei
and
trei.
The same we have trinity of electron, proton, and neutron here.
Magnifică imagine.
Magnificent image.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gracias. Gracias for sharing. This is that what we need.
In Romanian, it's mulțumesc.
Mulțumesc.
In Spanish, mulțumesc.
Yeah,
In Spanish, it's gracias.
yeah, because you speak Spanish. So, mulțumesc, is it right?
Mulțumesc in Romanian.
Yeah, mulțumesc. I am very grateful because I always, I'm very interested in come to know thank you in different languages.